So, in all cases, in all copulation leads to fertilization or pregnancy? No. In case simultaneously ovum releases from the ovary is also transported to the ampulla and isthmic junction of site of fertilization. At the time of the releasing of the sperms reaches from vagina of the female to up to the region of ampulla and isthmic junction. At that time, ova, in case ova is presented at that region of site of fertilization, ampulla and isthmus, then only the fertilization is occurs. So what given in NCERT the line is, so that only all copulations are not leads to fertilization and pregnancy. Both are simultaneously reaches at the site of fertilization. So during copulation, the male releases, during insemination, the male releases how much sperms? Earlier we discussed approximately 300 million sperms are releases from the male at the time of copulation or coitus. So all the sperms are reaches up to the region of ampulla and isthmic junction? No. So where the sperms are disappearing? During copulation, approximately 300 million sperms are releases, but majority of the sperms are engulfed by leukocytes of vaginal epithelia. Engulf, directly feeded by the leukocytes of the vaginal epithelia. Among 300 million sperms, some of the sperms only finally reaches to site of fertilization. And the secondary oocyte can be fertilized only within 24 hours after its releasing from the ovary. So whenever the secondary oocyte releases from the ovaries and reaches to the site of ampulla and isthmic junction, so within how much time the fertilization should be takes place for further leads of pregnancy and implantation purpose? That is 24 hours only. The secondary oocyte can be fertilized only within 24 hours after its release from the ovary. So after 24 hours, the secondary oocyte is going to be degenerated. The sperms in the female genital tract are made capable of fertilizing the egg by the secretions of the female genital tract is called capacitation. So here there is a process, capacitation process. The capacitation, so what is meant by capacity, capable? So earlier we discussed the semen releases from the male. So what is semen? Semen means what? Sperms plus different types of secretions releasing from seminal vesicles, prostate gland and bulbourethral gland. So these are all fluids consist with different types of enzymes and fructose which are helpful for providing energy, nourishment to the sperms. And whenever sperms are released into the region of female vaginal tract, from the vagina, the sperms are reaches up to the ampulla and isthmic junction of fallopian tube of the female. Sperms need energy and sperms need extra capability, extra capacity. So the extra capacity get by the process capacitation. So what is capacitation? The sperms in the female genital tract are made capable of fertilizing the egg by the secretions of the female genital tract. So whenever the sperms are released into the female genital tract, then only the sperms get capacitation. So capacitation occurs before insemination or after insemination? So what is answer? After insemination. With the help of what? With the help of secretions of the female genital tract. Clear up to this? Right. So at the time of fertilization, so what type of the events occurs in the region of ova or secondary oocyte? There is some of the physical and chemical events that takes place at the time of the fertilization in the region of ova. In case sperms reaches to the secondary oocyte, the sperms are trying to enter inside the secondary oocyte. At that time, what type of the events or takes place? What type of the changes or takes place? So those are acrosomal reaction, cortical reaction, sperm entry, karyogamy, activation of the egg. So this topic is not there in NCERT. These are extra NCERT points you can note down. Acrosomal reaction, cortical reaction, sperm entry, karyogamy, activation of the egg. These are all different types of physical and chemical events of fertilization, which takes place in the region of ova. So during this time of, at the time of fertilization, there is different types of the changes that occurs. During this process, what type of the changes are occurs or takes place? By the acrosomal reaction, envelopes of ova is going to be dissolved and the secondary oocyte prevents polyspermy and ensures only monospermy. In earlier classes, we discussed regarding about structure of sperm. So what is structure of sperm? What is the parts of structure of sperm? Head, neck, middle piece, tail. In the head region, what is the apical part? The cap-like structure is called? Yes, acrosome. So acrosome, what is the function of acrosome? Acrosome consists with different types of enzymes, hyaluronidase, sperm lysine enzymes. So what is the function of acrosomes? So these enzymes are helpful for dissolving of secondary oocyte membranes at the time of fertilization. Earlier we discussed. So here the process of acrosomal reaction, by the acrosomal reaction envelopes of ova is going to be dissolved and the secondary oocyte prevents polyspermy, induce only monospermy. So whenever once acrosomal reactions are going to be initiated, the secondary oocyte prevents polyspermy, poly, many, spermy, entering of the sperm into the secondary oocyte. So prevention of polyspermy, entry of more than one sperm into the ovary is restricted, prevented, and ensures only monospermy. What is meant by mono? Single, spermy, sperm enters. Monospermy, only one sperm only enters into the region of secondary oocyte, inside the secondary oocyte. So prevention of polyspermy and ensuring of monospermy takes place. And next one, what is next one? Cortical reaction. So by the cortical reactions, cortical enzymes are formed for dissolving of secondary oocyte membranes. Again, you can remember what are the secondary oocyte membranes. Innermost membrane is vitelline membrane, and the middle membrane is, what's the middle membrane? Middle membrane is zona pellucida, and outermost corona radiata. These three should be dissolved where the sperm is reaches to the secondary oocyte. So these are going to be cortical reactions and zona reactions. Once a cortical and zona reactions takes place,